welcome back to my channel. This is Jamie, and today we are going to start some seeds. So I bought the 72 cell tray at Walmart. It was only $5. So I want to use this to get my celery seeds started. So I filled the bottom up with water, and I'm just going to put the seed cell thing in there. And then we're just going to fill it up with some seed starting mix. So this is the stuff that I like to use to start my seeds from Jiffy Natural and Organic Seed Starting Mix, and it works really well. So we are just going to put it in our tray salad. And then it's probably going to take quite a while for it to soak up all this because it is so dry. I'm just going to pack it down in there a little bit. Alright, so we got our tray all filled with dirt, and we're going to let that soak up for a while, and then we will start our seeds, and I will be back when the soil is nice and wet. Okay, so I think my seed starting mix finally soaked up all the water. I don't usually do it like this. I usually put it in like a pan and put my seed starting mix in and mix it up with water and then put it in the tray, because otherwise it takes forever to do it like this. So anyway, today I'm gonna be starting some celery seeds, and I got these from M.I. Gardener, and they were only 99 cents like all his other seeds, and there's approximately 700 celery seeds in the pack. So so celery takes a really long time to come to maturity. So if you don't live in like a climate that has a really long growing season, you definitely will need to start them indoors, like, I don't know, they say like 10 to 12 weeks. So it's like the end of February, so I definitely should get them started. So celery is considered a cool weather crop. So, but you know, here in New York, we our growing season is only so long. So, but I grow it in the summertime, all through the spring, summer, and most of the fall. And it usually does fine, even when we get days that are in the 80s and 90s. And it likes the full sun, but it will tolerate partial shade. I've grown it in both, and they've done well in both. So I think maybe this year I might try to give it a little more shade, because I think it did a little bit better with partial shade. But we'll see. So I've seen a couple people say that you can just put the celery seeds on top of the soil and not cover them and put them under the light and they'll germinate. Well, I tried that one year and it didn't work. So now I always cover it with just a little bit of soil, because the seeds are extremely tiny, as you probably already know. But so this is how tiny the little baby celery seeds are. All right, so I'm just gonna sprinkle the seeds. They're so tiny I can't just get one in there, but and then I'll usually transplant them up if it's still too cold by the time they need it. If it's still too cold outside by the time they need transplanting, I just put them like in a 3-inch pot or something and let them grow from there. Then when they germinate, I'll just leave one to a cell. And I'm gonna have like 72 celery plants. That's a lot, but I give a lot away. Sometimes I give some plants away, or use it, because you can use every part of the plant. You can use the stalk, the seeds, the leaves. Everything is beneficial for your health. So We're just gonna get these seeds in here. And celery likes a really, really fertile soil. So we have some good organic compost. It'd be perfect. Let me get just a couple more. Okay, so now we got the seeds in. Now we just got to cover them up. All right, so they only need to be 1/2 inch, covered with 1/2 inch of your soil. So you don't need a lot. And I also left the water in the bottom of the tray, and it will soak up the dirt on the top, or soil. I shouldn't call it dirt. And then I'll just empty the excess water out after it soaks up real good and wait for them to germinate. And celery is just a really great thing to grow because it has like just so many health benefits. It has lots of nutrients and vitamins and adds great flavor to all your soups and stews and dishes. And some of my kids just like to eat it with peanut butter on it, and or stick it in some ranch dressing. They like to do that too. I just want to pack it down lightly just so it makes contact with the soil. So I've been getting cabin fever really bad, and we still have probably a good 3 feet of snow on the ground. And then I checked the weather today, and we have a blizzard warning for starting Thursday morning and ending Friday evening. And they are saying that we could get up to 3 to 4 feet of snow. So I am really not looking forward to that. That is really not helping my my winter blues at all. I'm just ready for it to be spring. Even though I feel like this winter has went by quite fast compared to usual, but I am starting to go a little bit stir crazy. So anyway, we're not gonna water those in because there's water in the bottom, so we're just gonna let the water get that all nice and moist. And put the top on and leave them till they germinate. And when they do germinate, you want to put them right under the light right away so that they get a really strong stalk system going there. So many times I like to start my seeds in these you just get from the store with your vegetables or fruits in them, and they work great, especially the ones that this one doesn't have it, but some of them already have the holes in it, and they're really great. But I tried it one year with celery, and they germinated well, but it was horrible to try to get them apart and separate them, and I lost so many plants from having to transplant them like that at so young. But I did see this one is better. It has holes in it. I don't know if you can see it, but these are my peppers, little baby pepper plants that have started germinating, and I put quite a few of them in here, and I think they're still germinating. I got a ladybug in there. Okay, and this is a look at my oregano. It's doing really good so far, and eventually I'm going to like put it all into like one pot together. So when it gets a little bigger, but I love the smell of it. So they say you can pot them up if you need to when they're about 3 inches tall. And I usually pot them up around that time too, in like the 3-inch containers, like I said, or some people use the cups or whatever you have. And then usually they do really good in there until it's time to transplant them in the garden, because these actually take 110 days to maturity, so that's a really long time. So that's why I always start mine in February. I usually start them like the beginning of February, but it's been a crazy month, so I'm just getting to it now. But they'll still do okay. I'm sure they'll still do okay. So anyway, that is the first of my seeds that I started. So far I have started peppers and celery, and then my indoor herbs, but it's really too early to start anything else that I can think of right now. It's still too early for tomatoes because they germinate fairly quickly. These say they take 10 to 20 days to germinate, but I've never had my celery take 10 to 20 days to germinate. It germinates usually pretty quickly. So anyway, if you want to grow some celery in your garden, it grows really, really well. It's really easy to grow. It's just like a heavy feeder. It likes a lot of compost, and it really likes a lot of fertilizer. So I usually pack compost on top of the wood chips around the celery, and it does great. So anyway, I thank you for joining me today, and I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful night.